Hello.
Hello. Welcome to another mental health discussion with myself and Danica. We are up to day, I don't know, when restrictions were coming in, the stage 3 restrictions, I put one of those countdowns on my phone.
Yeah.
And I said, alright, within 6 months' time, this should be all done. And I thought I was exaggerating. Yeah. And I think I'm up to, I think we've just gone over the 3 month mark, about 3.5 months. So yeah, welcome to 3.5 months into the pandemic. And we're getting together for a bit of a discussion about mental health topics. Last time we got together we spoke about positive mental health, maintaining positive mental health in the middle of COVID-19, keeping up the normal things that we do, doing the basics, getting up, doing the basics.
Bit of self-care.
Self-care, yeah. What do you do for self-care, Lisa?
I've been lucky enough to have soccer training go back, and so getting in a bit of exercise. I've gotten to see my soccer team again, which seeing them is always something that cheers me up. Kind of distracts me from everything that's going on, and I just focus strictly on that. I've still been watching a lot of TV shows and different films. I haven't done as much colouring in as I used to, but yeah, they're my main things probably.
Yeah, important to have a bit of a focus of things that are positive self-care. One of the things, I want to have a bit of a different path of what we speak about today. I want to have a bit of a discussion about understanding psychosis. 3% of the population are diagnosed with a psychotic illness sometime during their life. 3/4 of those people that experience psychotic symptoms don't actually progress on to a diagnosable illness. But you know, for those people that do, and it does, you know, if we're talking 3% of the population have it, 3/4 don't progress on, but that the people that do have the psychotic symptoms and the people that do lead to a diagnosable illness after, it tends to mainly happen, the first presentation of symptoms are normally for younger people. So late teens seems to be the time that we'll see a presentation of psychotic symptoms. And there can be a number of reasons. And in supporting our friends and family, there's some things that we can do, or it can happen, you know, to us as well. And it's also good to have some information. Would you agree, DC?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Just, you know, sometimes just simply checking in can be a big thing to help people going through that, I think. Yeah,
exactly. And you know, that support, that, you know, it's not a personal failing. It's not something that you just haven't tried hard enough, and or you can just shake this, what's happening, or just be real about it, or something like that. It's just A, it's not fair, and B, it's just not practical.
Yeah.
It's you wouldn't say to somebody, well, can you shake your pneumonia? Can you, that broken leg that you've got, can you just squeeze real hard and grow the bones back? So we'll have a bit of a discussion about that today. There's also some numbers that we'll get at the end, and we'll see if we can get someone. Last time I think I did this, and the numbers appeared right here. Magic. So what a psychosis is, and can I just say also, a lot of this grabbing from a really good resource from Headspace. Headspace are great with their fact sheets. They have fact sheets, grief and loss, anxiety, depression, specific illnesses, psychosis, things like that. Really, really great resources, really good, basic, easy to read.
Yeah.
Yeah, so shout out to people at Headspace. Okay, so psychosis is where a person has problems interpreting the real world. They may see things or hear things that other people don't see, or they may have unusual ideas or beliefs that other people don't. What is important is psychosis requires professional help. Should never be ignored, and it can also have a huge impact on how someone lives or functions. When we say it's only 3% of the population, it is quite. It seems to be quite common. It's especially important for young people to seek help early. It allows for a more complete and quick recovery, but also getting help early leads to a higher probability of symptoms not representing later in life. As I mentioned before, for a lot of young people, it's their first. It's where you tend to see that first presentation of symptoms, and if it's ignored, the problem compounds. If the person's assisted to seek help and treatment early on, and we'll talk about treatment for psychosis in a bit, then you've got a better chance later in life. Okay, so the symptoms. Symptoms are broken down into, start with confused thinking. Everyday thoughts might be confused, or a person may struggle to concentrate, follow a conversation, remember everyday things that they do, and their thoughts may speed up or slow down. They may have false beliefs, that their beliefs seem strong and not real to other people, and such as they're being followed, or they're receiving secret messages from the TV, or that they misinterpret signs in the community and things like that, messages from the radio. And we see this a lot in Hollywood. We see a lot of movies.
A few came to mind as you were explaining.
But any movies that you can think?
Main one that came to mind was from the show Orange Is the New Black, because you have a character there who they think they're getting secret messages from, like the NSA or CIA, one of them. And there's just a bunch of like conspiracy theories that they're coming up with, and the main character that I suppose comes to my mind, and we had a bit of a discussion at work about it actually, Arthur Fleck, the Joker. Oh yes.
So the movie Joker with Joaquin Phoenix. There's Arthur Fleck watching TV, watching Robert De Niro do the talk show sort of thing, and he's looking at the TV, and then he's in the TV, and it's not just imagining, but he forms this reality that he actually is part of Murray's TV show, and
he's a stand-up comedian.
And he's a stand-up comedian, and he's funny, and he has a relationship with the woman who's down the hallway, who's never actually spoken to him, and so these false beliefs, hallucinations as well. The person may see, hear, taste, or smell something that isn't there. They may even see things that seem strange. They may see shadows. They may see faces in different objects. They may have changed emotions. They may feel isolated, cut off from the real world, and they may feel less or show less emotion to those around them than they did previously. They may have changed behaviours that may change from what their behaviour was previously, but it's important to remember that the symptoms of psychosis, I should say, are different for everyone, and they may not present all the time, and they may have different causes and can change over time. As I said before, most people experience their first psychotic episode in their late teens to early 20s, and one of the big misconceptions in the community is that psychosis means schizophrenia. And so a lot of the time when someone finds out that they do they are having psychotic symptoms. They think, I've got schizophrenia. But schizophrenia is only one of a diagnosable illness that has psychotic symptoms. Some of these different illnesses can include having a brief psychotic disorder, drug-induced psychosis, a lot of substances, crystal methamphetamine, commonly referred to as ice, leads to drug-induced psychosis. Synthetic marijuana, what's called synthetic marijuana, actually has nothing to do with marijuana. That can lead to a high probability of drug-induced psychosis. Also, lots of substances out there can lead to what we refer to as a drug-induced psychosis. Bipolar disorder, major depression that has psychotic features. Not all depression, but some major depression has a psychotic feature to it. Delusional disorder and schizophrenia has these psychotic symptoms, and it can be caused by a range of different things, or a combination of different things, but generally genetics, trauma can make people vulnerable to psychotic symptoms.
Yeah.
And we talk about trauma a lot when we work with young people.
Yeah.
What would be a good way of describing trauma? It's
just an experience that you've gone through that has had a, I guess, negative impact on you.
Yeah, so it's it has a negative impact about how you attach to people. It has a negative impact about how your behaviours
And interact in different situations.
And it's we as when we talk about childhood trauma, I find for me the best way to explain it is as babies we're held and we're nurtured, and we have this relationship with our caregiver. We're loved, and we're wired for development.
Yeah,
and
for that connection.
And we're wired for connection and attachment. And when we are subjected to an event such as physical abuse, we are wired for survival as children. And so we don't develop, and we don't form that. We have disorganized attachment. We don't form that attachment. We form a broken attachment almost. So, but that's a discussion for another time, I think, in one of these these mental health discussions. Additionally, stresses in life that people are exposed to can contribute to developing psychosis, and those can include drug use, grief and loss, difficult times with families or friends, problems at school or work, or even social stresses. COVID-19 is an example of a social stressor. The mine fire. What else? Bushfires.
Yeah.
Being unemployed, suddenly finding yourself unemployed, struggling at school. A lot of these things become the stressor that can kick off something else. Okay, helping someone with psychosis, and this is probably very important. For me, I find the number one important thing is to remember that the person may be responding to experiences that are real for them, but you are unaware of. And it's important to ask them what's happening for you, and listen carefully, and don't try to convince them. You know, if they think that they're getting messages from the TV, from the Russian government, there is nothing that you can do to convince them that you're not getting messages from the Russian government. Arthur Fleck, Joaquin Phoenix, the Joker, there was nothing that anyone could do to convince him that the lady down the hall he didn't have a relationship with. In doing that, you would become part of the delusion yourself, and someone that was against him. So it's important to listen and connect with the emotion the person is experiencing, rather as opposed to the idea, the thing that they're experiencing. Are they scared? Are they elated? Are they fearful? Are they paranoid? Are they angry? Are they... it's the feeling that they're experiencing, rather than Arthur Fleck thinking that he has this relationship. Encourage them to get help, or assist them in getting help, or connecting with other services. The important, we were going to talk some numbers. Here come the numbers. So the first important one is emergency services, 000. If you see someone in the community or a neighbour or something like that that's really not having a good time, and they're quite a danger to themselves or a danger to the other people, and please, when I say that, let's bust the hell out of this falsehood that people with mental illness are dangerous in community.
Yeah.
It's a very small percentage that happens to, and if we're talking about the emotion rather than the idea, it's the emotion that we're talking about, people that are scared.
Yeah.
But if they are at harm to themselves or harm to someone else in amongst that emotion, 000. The police will be called. The police will come with a clinician and an ambulance, and they will provide help, professional help on the scene. Or mental health triage in Gippsland, 1300 363 322. I'll try that again. 1300 363 322 is our mental health triage system. It's not a counselling line. It's about someone who is in acute, and by acute it means they have a presentation of symptoms right there and then, and they are in crisis. And so it is about that, contacting that number. We also have Headspace, 1300 659 467. Also a fantastic resource to get advice, but also to connect to resources as well. For people, if Danica met me and I was experiencing symptoms, and actually probably not me, I'm 47. All right, so let's reverse that.
Yeah.
Play Uno card.
Yeah.
All right, so if I met Danica out of the blue was experiencing symptoms, I might say, hey, do you mind if I call Headspace, and we might go down there, or I might help her book an appointment, or I might get some resources off them.